What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Happy Monday. Super Mario, please say the super. Upline, 30K, Uncle 30K, Senior Executive President's team member. A little bit over 8 years in the business. Man, so I remember doing whatever it takes, just like Mark Hughes, on the way to supervisor first. Shout out to all the brand new supervisors. Shout out to everybody on the team that's a distributor, that's not yet a supervisor. So type a 1 in the chat if you are not a supervisor, but you're going for a supervisor. Bloop, 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 bloop. Cool, cool, cool. I'm going to tell you like this. You got to get the supervisor because that's when everything starts to matter, right? You become part of royalty. You get a chance to start being eligible for royalty. So you got to start building your team, like build your team now. Build your team, start sponsoring now, right? So that then you're going to already start being able to earn like a higher wholesale income, and then you'll already be getting the benefits of what the team building is. Like this is a team sport, right? How many people are athletes? Type of 2 if you're an athlete, like a real athlete, like you actually played on any type of team. Like I know you guys are athletic, but if you actually played on a team ever in life, type of 2, right? Type of 2 if you played like single sports, tennis, pool, bowling, ping pong. I think that's it. Right, you guys count 2. Now you got to switch to a team sport. Use a dancer. What kind of sport is that? Who said that? Nestor said he a dancer. Competitive dancer. It was crumping. It was a crump competition. It was right. Spades and bones. And it's not we could play. You know, we got game night tonight, Nate. So what's up? You know, they could play all them other games. So anyway, look. Skirt. No squirrels. All right, track. Yeah, that's kind of like a team sport, kind of like an individual sport at the same time, right? It's a team sport. The better you are with the team, the better you're going to go in this business. And the faster you build a team, right, the better your team is. Because it has to get built. Like you're against the world. You're against, like, the qualifications is almost like your challenge. It's like your opposition. Hey, we got to get, you know, your royalty up to a certain amount, like 1,000 royalty points to qualify for global expansion team. That's your opposition, is the qualification. Right? No other company is your opposition. No other marketing plan and other business out there is competition. You know, the things that are afflicting people is your competition, like people being overweight, people being underweight, people being underemployed or unemployed, right? Shout out to all the unemployed people who started this business. Right? Shout out to the underemployed people. Technically, most of you guys are underemployed because you're not making as much as a president's team member. So everybody's underemployed because I feel that your income could be a whole lot higher. Somebody put a church in there, like with a lot of U's, church. So everybody's kind of underemployed, right? And then every other thing that we can, you know, get benefited from by being Herbalife distributors. That's the competition. Opposition is like, yo, this is what we have in front of us. We need to achieve this. Us as a team need to achieve this royalty points. But you got to bring people in. So one of the things I remember, right, and this is kind of like a conversation that I've had before, but probably haven't had in a while. But it's always good to kind of like get back into it. And then so everybody else could also, you know, add it to their repertoire as they talk to their team or even think about your team. It's thinking about having 5 generals. Right. So before I learned about the 5 generals that I got to have, I was just told to, like, think of who you really, really want your team to be made of, right? Like, what does your team look like? I don't care if you're thinking about, like, literally, like, what the jerseys look like and what the uniform looks like and the team logo and mascot. You could look, all of that's included. Like, what does that look like? And then what do the people look like? Are they, you know, you have a team full of powerful women. Yay. You know, me, I wanted the team full of athletes. I wanted to, like, you know, sponsor the homies, right? And I sponsored a lot of the homies. You know, obviously I was like, yo, when I started, I was like, it's gonna be me, my brother, my boy Paul, my boy Jai, my boy Booby. And I'm thinking of people that like I was like around, associated with, and you know, basically like family. Like I thought of like family first, like all my like boys that I would consider brothers, right, cousins and stuff like that. That like I wanted to have the team. I was like, yeah, that's like my team. Of course, so you talk to them all, and then you bring them as much as you can, right? And just like Mark Hughes, for those of us who are watching the video, right, you had to get on earlier. He said, man, my best friends broke my heart because they looked at me and they didn't join, even though they knew how passionate I was and they could see it. My best friends broke my heart. And I was talking to them making like $5,000. Like, yo, man, I found it. Like, yo, it's crazy right now. Like, yo, you guys have to start. And then they've seen everything. And you know, now we're not technically best friends no more. It just kind of happens like that. Right. It just be like that. But you gotta start thinking about your team. You gotta think about your 5 generals. Right. So to get 5 generals, right? Just like to get 5 supervisors or to get 5 active supervisors, which is always a goal, which will turn into getting 5 tab team members and active world team members, and then eventually 5 president's team members, because it's like, yo, founder circle is a goal, but it's like chairmen, you get to chairmen, 5 lines, right? Let's start with the 5, right? 5 distributors into 5 supervisors, right? But you want to think about your generals. So it's going to be even people that are going to go beyond active supervisor. So you want to think about the characteristics of a general. And just like you have to have them be active supervisors, you also have to be one first. So let's look at you guys being a general, right? The first thing you want to do, obviously, is get the supervisor. And then you want to say, I need to be one of my uplines, my sponsors, generals. And if your sponsor like not in the business like that, it could be your sponsors, generals, right? And if none of them isn't up there, you're going to be a diamond in somebody's line. So just think about what it's going to be like to be a general, and you have to be a full embodiment of it to then probably, more than likely, attract the generals, right? And generals are going to, so let's look at this. And it's a whole lot of stuff. And those of you guys who have had this conversation, feel free to just type in words to describe like the general that you are or that you have, or in your understanding of what a general is. Let's go into it a little bit, right? First off, the first one. And I want you guys to write like a 1, circle the 1, underline what you just circled, and then put a star next to it. Independent. Independent. They get about 2 times for them to ask you a question and for you to answer myherbalife.com before they get it, and then they go seek to find the answers. Right? Because I promise you, right? Like, I ain't gonna promise you're gonna get rich. I ain't gonna promise you're gonna get results. I ain't gonna promise that anything, right? But I promise you, myherbalife.com has more answers than you could fathom. If you go on there and you was like, yo, I really need to know what do I gotta do to start somebody off as a distributor? They literally have the exact same plan that everybody in North America and the world uses on My Herbalife. 100-person list. Set up your site. Like, they have that listed on there, right? So it's the independence that's going to be the first thing that you got to be as a general. So you yourself have to say, well, how much am I relying on like getting the information, getting the answers, creating things, right? How much am I relying on my uplines for that stuff? Right? Like, if something needs to be created, do you create it, or are you like asking like, hey, do we have a meeting? And instead of just saying, look, I need to start doing HOM meetings. I need to create things for my neighborhood. I need to create things for my region, my area, or whatever it is that you personally have to do, right? I had to end up when I started in 2013, I had to start doing my own trainings. I went to trainings enough to be able to do the training, right? You got to be high production. As a general, you got to be high production, right? Because you got to be the example of team building. And so your production is going to come from you sponsoring, right? Look, you guys, if you guys want to do high volume, bring more people into the business, because that's other people doing numbers that still counts towards your volume, which then turn into supervisors, which counts towards your organization, your royalty, which is, we all want that to be massive. So don't think about massive numbers, think about a massive amount of people. Does that make sense? If anybody ever something seems unclear, just type a gang of question marks in the chat, and then we can kind of like, you know, rewind it and go back into that. You know what I mean? I think we should probably start implementing that as a tool now. Yeah, if you just come confused, just gang of question marks, right? So what do we have? High personal production, right? High contribution, like be a yes. Be a yes. Right? You guys hear a lot of people say, thank you for your yes. You know, I want to shout out my uplines and the people that came before us and all the other leaders on the team. Thank you for a yes. Yeah, you guys said yes to Herbalife. But then you got to say, yeah, I just barely said it. But I'm going into it. Hold on. Be a yes. What that mean? Right? It's say yes to doing everything. Right? That's what the contribution part is, right? Contribution is being a yes. Like taking on a role, telling your story, being available to contribute in as many ways as possible, right? Within the scope of what you can do. Like, yeah, if somebody's like, yeah, we need somebody to train products. If you've never trained products before, or you don't even know the products yet or seen the product training, don't volunteer, please. Volunteer to shadow, volunteer to say, I'll work on it. Don't train a marketing plan if you never did it, right? But within the capacity of where you're at, be a yes to it, right? Don't worry if somebody volunteers you to do something. Say, okay, I'm glad you did. I'm glad that you're empowering me to step out of my comfort zone. Be a yes, be of high contribution. As a general, right? And to be a general, it keeps you at a general population when we go to extravaganza. It keeps you into VIP. When you're a general, you don't sit in general population. You're VIP and up, right? I've never not sat VIP. By the time I was like not high production, I was press team. It was just like, oh, you get to a point where you VIP till you get to press. Now you got red carpet. Now you go to 30K and then you VIP of the press until you get to the next joint to get another set of another thing of VIP. Right? To be a general. So think about yourself and then think about the people that you know, that you love, that you have on your team. A lot of you guys, I see you guys have teams already. And so it's going to be this personnel issue sometimes that people get, right? I'm not saying you're going to have it, because we're not talking about how people act. I'm talking about from the inside. When somebody says, how do you deal with this? How do you deal with that? Hey, Soup, and because I do enough calls or somebody, you know, hey, we got questions at the end. People say, well, what do you do when? And I say, look, I never, ever answer personnel calls and questions. What? Well, first off, let me see how much this person like listens to Mark Hughes, because then there's nothing, man, bruh. Summertime hero, man, what be going on with all of us? Nothing. Man, somebody got a problem. It's probably theirs and theirs alone. It's theirs and theirs alone. You got to let people figure and deal their own stuff out. Now, you can be a fire putter outer, but that's like, okay, I have a downline and then I have another downline and there's something with them. I'm enforcing that everything is no problem. Where's the lack of integrity within this issue? Get inside integrity in the way that makes sense. Wherever you at, bring yourself into integrity. Wherever you at, bring yourself into integrity. Wherever you're at, bring yourself into everything is no problem. Wherever you're at, bring yourself into everything is no problem. And the people who can do that, they'll be better off. Because you're not going to escape the small things that's going to happen into the marketplace with people's clients, with people's distributors, with sometimes you catching somebody in a bad mood or anything else like that. If you can get to the everything is no problem faster, like that's what the general is going to be doing. Being there first and then leading people into that everything is no problem. Let's keep it fun, simple, magical. No stinking thinking, right? This is other Mark Hughes stuff. Most of the stuff is just all Mark Hughes stuff. No stinking thinking, right? I don't want to go to the promotion. Stinking thinking, right? Man, I'm not going to go to the party at the leadership development weekend. Why aren't you playing full out? That's stinking thinking. Oh, I'm going to hold my volume because I already hit my goal this month. So I'm going to hold my volume. I got like some people that's going to go. I'm just going to have them order, at the beginning of this month, right? So I can start August up super cracking. You know what I mean? Instead of putting the onus on yourself and saying, let me just get a crazy July and I can start August and I'm going to go get the new anyway. Like all that other stuff is stinking thinking. The things that that you wouldn't want to tell your upline that you're doing, right? That's called stinking thinking. Go to your press member and tell them like your mindset. And if you know they're going to bust your head, then you shouldn't do it and you shouldn't be thinking it, right? Or if you wouldn't want somebody in your downline to do certain things, right? And this is where your elevated level has to be as a general, is you have to start thinking about things before it happens. You have to start operating on a high level before it happens, before your organization is huge. You have to start thinking about what you want the feeling of your organization to be. How do you want people to be? People, oh man, I stopped the business. And this is the story. You guys heard the stories before. And if you're brand new, you'll hear them and it's going to be like weird. Yeah, I was doing the business and I stopped the business and then now I'm back again, right? Not a general at the moment. They can still come back and turn into general. But do you ever want somebody in your business to stop? Raise your hand if you want somebody to stop doing the business and then come back later. I don't. I hope they just stay in, right? So if I don't want that to happen, then that means I'll never do that, right? I hope you guys are thinking about yourselves and what life could happen, and then would you quit? Would you stop? Would you come back? Nope. Right. What else do we got for high integrity? We kind of touched on that a little bit, right? But the integrity thing is such a big deal, right? And if you guys don't understand integrity just I want you guys to understand integrity in the broad sense before having to get into individual things that may happen in Herbalife that you're going to have to be integrous about, right? Anybody ever been on a submarine? Type of 3 if you've been on a submarine, right? Type of 4 if you've been on an airplane.
Just maybe.
Right. Cool. So there's something called integrity with the structure, right? Or if you're a builder, right? You put something together, even if it's like a bookshelf. The bookshelf has to have integrity for the entire structure to be stable, right? Your structure, right? And you think about your business, everything that of language, you're going to apply to your business, your building. The building has to have great structural integrity, right? We know 9/11 was BS because those buildings were designed to have structural integrity. The structure of your business needs integrity, right? So you get on the airplane. If they tell you something is wrong with the airplane, and the integrity is compromised, are you going to still stay on there while it's about to take off? You go even crazier, the submarine, right? You go through a submarine and you walking, right? Oh man, this is about to be crazy, man. We got to go on this little submarine tour. You looking around, where the periscope at? I want to look through the little porthole and everything else like that. You see a leak, right? Not like a leak inside, like it's under the sink that's in the submarine. You see a leak by like the window hole. Obviously seeing that the integrity of the submarine is compromised. What do you do with that submarine? In my opinion, you throw the whole thing away, right? Or you fix it, right? But in general, what we're supposed to be doing, we scrap it. Nah, we're not doing that, right? When you lack integrity, everything that you build is trash. You can't add more to it, right? You can't make the building bigger if like there's lack of integrity in the structure of it. You can't go deeper, right? You can't take the pressure if your submarine lacks integrity. The relationships that you have with people, what do you think what? That's why people, can't take the pressure. Because it wasn't built on, man, look. This is why integrity is high, right? And people make mistakes, and you're dealing with so many other people, and you might get caught up in it. But in general, you have to operate with high integrity as an example, because then when stuff happens to your people, you can guide them through that to keep them in their elevated integrity, right? And if you're a hard worker, then all of the little small stuff isn't going to matter. You can just chalk it up like, oh man, take the person. Right? Oh, you talk to this person first, or this person doesn't want to work with you no more and they want to work with, take the person. Right? I don't even want the issues. I'm cool. Them people don't never turn into press team members anyway. I don't see it. People that like want to switch teams and even clients that want to, I don't see it. They don't never turn into nobody amazing. Right? Loyalty is high as a general. Loyalty to your team, loyalty to your upline, loyalty to the company, loyalty to your goals. Right. This is just as the new people are becoming supervisors. I just need you to start understanding that you get a chance to design your team. They say talk to everybody, but the main thing you want to do is get people that you like first. Sponsor people that you like. Sponsor everybody. Everybody can get on. But in general, get people that you like. If there's somebody who's like, hey, I'm interested in Herbalife, and like they give you like the heebie-jeebies, don't sponsor them. You don't have to. Right? Ladies, how many people like want to sign up with you, but they ain't really trying to sign up? They trying to slide up. You ain't got to sponsor them just because you know they're going to order some products to try to get on your good side. You don't have to. You could finesse around it and just, hey, I'm cool. You know what I mean? Leave them on red. To protect yourself. You're allowed to. Does that make sense? I don't be sponsoring a whole lot of people, right? You get a chance to qualify people. Right? You get a chance to qualify people. Some people don't meet the qualifications. It already lets you know, I might have to talk to you later and see if you qualify in a month. Oh, you didn't want to you didn't want to log on to the opportunity meeting call. I qualify you next week, right? Or for the next call. But we're not going to talk in between that. Like I value myself enough that I want to help you, right? And I know that we have some great stuff for you. But if you can't do that part, then how are we going to even ever start? Because once you start, you're going to have to do that anyway. Right? You get a chance to qualify people. Right? Qualify for your own personal quality. That makes sense. Type of 5 if this is good right now for you guys. Don't be gassing me up though. You know what I'm saying? 5'5" with the no cap. Cool. Right. But to get to the next level, there has to be always conversations as like broad as this and as wide as this, because you guys have to have as much of an understanding as you can, right? Of people, of business, of interactions. And then you have to just be on some everything is no problem. I promise you, this business can be very, very easy for you guys. I was looking at my upline, 5 levels up, recently passed away like 2 weeks ago. Right? Started at 23 years old, 1985, I think, 84, 85. Right? He was in the Herbalife magazine for doing phenomenal in his like first month, like legendary stuff. And in it, I'm reading an article and he said, yo, man, this is easy. Like he said, I work hard, but this is easy. I should like find out exactly like what he said so I don't like misquote him. Right, let me see what he said. Boop, 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 boop. For me, this business was a breeze. It's finna be a breeze. Compared to selling furniture, I worked hard. No doubt about that. But doing the business was easy. I just put my head down, stuck to the basics of the business, and in my 3rd month, earned more than $6,000, right? This is the 80s. Go about 2.5 times if you want to increase, you know, with the with how the money goes. What is it called? I'm getting a brain fart. Right? Inflation. What? How many of you guys feel like this is a breeze? Let me see. Let's type a 9. Type a 9 in the chat if you feel like it's a breeze. I feel like it's a breeze. People be surprised when they ask me questions about doing the business. I'll be sitting there like, I ain't about to give you that answer that you want. You're going to be mad at that answer. You're going to be mad at that answer. Because I can't tell them like this, it was super hard, or this. I tell them like, yo, man, it's kind of easy. You know, and of course, the statistics of what the organization looked like, it kind of like is proof. You know what I mean? But it didn't mean that it wasn't hard work. I woke up. I was there. My sister was doing 5 a.m. classes. I wake up and open the gym for you. Right? I did flyers in the heat. I set up tables and booths. I made little shakes until you realize like you might not want to do shakes and stuff in the heat, and you know you just might want to just bring them tea. Like I did all that. I did fit camps and brought shakes, dolo. Like it was a lot in terms of like building a business, but that's a breeze. Doing a workout, doing a check-in, doing everything dolo. You know, until people were there. Right? Until you got to have that mindset that it's easy, because however it is, and you talk to people all the time and they'll tell you that, you know, how they feel about it and how they feel how things are difficult. I was like, well, if that's how you think about it, just think about it differently. If you're working hard, then that's not the issue. Maybe how you approach mentally what you're doing in hard work is really what's defining like your success. Because you think you're doing something hard, so it's going to be less enjoyable to work hard doing something that you find it difficult. I worked in warehouses and throwing boxes and loading trucks before. That was easy. So what I do, excelled at that. I throw 1,000 boxes, stack that joint like Jenga, flush and everything. Man, look at that truck. Because it was easy to me. The challenge was how much of the easy I could do. That was the challenge of like, can I run all these trucks out? Can I have, you know, this setup and built it all the way to the top. Boom, 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 boom. Can I unload, or if I'm unloading, can I unload it faster? Even though what I was doing was easy mentally. So I could outwork people doing easy stuff. This is how you go fast, right? You're outworking people and you're just doing easy stuff. Does that make sense? It's all a mental game. 90-something% is like mental, and then the rest of it is just doing the easy work. But a lot of it because you're connected to what it's going to lead you to. And hopefully you guys, you know, we wrote down goals the past week, 2 weeks and stuff with extravaganza that just happened. Second half of the year is going, well, we look 1 month down in the second. Yo, it was just 2020, just started. It just started. And now look at us. We on the home stretch of it pretty much. We on the back ends. We on the back end, bruh. Taking it from somebody who's about to be 39. I was just 30 and just 25. Time flies fast, baby. So we got to say, if time flies fast, let me make my business fast. So then the rest of this time that's flying, I could be flying. First class. You start talking like reckless, Steven starts smirking like, man, I think I should buy a ticket right now. That's not an invitation to go do something right now. I'm just saying. Go fast and spend the rest of your life as, and then insert where you want to be. Press team at the minimum, like you want that lifestyle, I promise you. Spend the rest of your life as a press team. Spend the rest of your life as 15K or 20K, as an executive, as a chairman's club member. Spend the rest of your life as that. There's no going back. There's no getting fired. If you have integrity, right? Where's the firing? You can't get fired from this if you have integrity. That's the best part of what it is. Like, imagine being in an opportunity that you guys could make the money that you guys are earning and are about to earn, and it does not end. You'll personally be done with it when you end. But then what you built, obviously, you can set it up and, you know, you can pass it to somebody else. That's crazy. You mean they might pay me this? You know why I know they're going to pay me this? Because I brought in other people. What? Don't that make sense? Right? You know why my sponsor can sit comfortably? Because he brought me in and I hit presidency and I'm not done. Like, I'm not going to stop. So it's like, yo, he had a president. And of course he got more presidency members, but like, he's comfortable. He can always be not even comfortable, confident, right? That's all it is. It's got to be, man, I can live confident. Like, the money don't got to be an issue no more. The rest of it is just like personal challenge. Going to 50K is a personal challenge. Going to 40K for my sponsor and all the way to 50 and chairman, those are personal challenges. That's not, I need the money. It's a personal challenge. So now you get a chance to be like a great person, find more people to empower to hit these new goals. And it's not income-based. It's not, it doesn't have any despair in it. It doesn't have the urgency of necessity, like I need the money because I got to take care of the bills. Get to the point where the money's taken care of, the bills is good. And then the rest of it is like, yo, I need to give people this opportunity because, as we already kind of all had a consensus, is everybody's underemployed. Everybody's underemployed almost, but not really. I was driving back, right? I was in Newport Beach area. That's Orange County, like California this weekend. Sometimes you got to just see stuff to just like add more perspective. Everybody ain't broke. We broke. Right? Us. and our friends and our family, we broke. I'm in Newport, bruh. I can't afford to live there yet. It's crazy. And it's a lot of houses that ain't for sale. People like living there. And you're looking at thousands of houses. That means there's a lot of people that got a lot of money. And that's just one small little city. Newport is small. And then since we're in California, I know what like Santa Monica looks like. And I know what Hollywood looks like. And I know what Malibu looks like. And you're sitting there like, that's a lot of people. And then go to San Francisco and go to like all the nice areas in the hills. That's a lot of people. Then go to New York and everybody, you must gotta like make a lot of money to live in New York in some of these nice places. Everybody, that's a lot of money. We just don't got money. We gotta change that. But since so many people got it, that means it can't be hard to get. That's how I look at it. Like, man, it can't be that. Go to Vegas. How many of you ever went to Vegas and like sat next to people gambling and you sitting there like, man, I wish like I could gamble like they gambling. I mean, they only gambling with $1,000 chips. And you're sitting there like, I got my $5 chips and maybe some 20s. Because I only put in 200. And they're sitting there with $1,000 chips, $500 chips all around them. And you're sitting there like, man, how far do I got to run if I like grab a couple of these? I don't know. Maybe that's just my brain that like always thought like that. Still think like that. But people got it. It can't. We used to go to Vegas, right? I used to just in my mind, I used to just say, there's billions of dollars out here. I just need some of the crumbs. When I say out here, I'm not talking about in the world. I'm talking about just like in Vegas, right? And of course, it's like probably like $1 trillion. I would just be like, you can be out here and you can randomly just run into the crumbs and make a living in a place like Vegas. Like, you got to think about opportunity like that. Like, how many of you guys are looking at this opportunity like, yo, this is like a blessing, right? Type of B if you feel like Herbalife is a blessing. And if you don't have type of B yet, I understand it's probably like you probably new. You ain't started really kicking it in yet. Like I could understand. Those of us who's in, you can't think about it no other way, right? Just with the amount of people of if you just know my story, just be like, man, it was a blessing just because what happened to Sue, right? But there's hundreds and thousands of other people who got crazier stories. Like we're in America. Imagine some of the like other countries, right? You guys are on the opportunity meeting and you see it. People are like in Venezuela that have hit president's team, and in Brazil and hit president's team. And, I was in South Africa, so I know some of the people. Like they come from the townships in our president. So when they say townships, as in they mamas and thems is still in like mud built homes. When they go visit their family, they're still in like villages, and it's not obviously as bad as I'm not gonna like hype it up like it's like horrible out there, but it's a place that even in the main city they got these things called load shedding where you're without internet. Like I'm talking to my distributor, I'm like, yo man, what's popping? He's like, man, I'm missing Wi-Fi for like 3 days because they do load shedding, meaning they shut the electricity off. Right? And then people are able to come out of that and become president's team members. Like I've seen it. I've seen people just recently, 2 years, 3 years, right? And imagine the whole population overall, like obviously you can go there, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money out there. But overall, the population is still always one less than 1%, and then 99% everybody else. The overall population aren't making a lot of money, didn't come from a lot of money, are going to school to try to do as much as they can for way more people than most of us are like taking on the responsibility of, right? And so when you get somebody started, it's not the same as, yeah, we're going to get somebody on 300 dollars worth of products or something like that. That's not the conversation. You're trying to get somebody on 1,000 rand products, and that might be a stretch, and that's only about 70 bucks, 80 bucks. And they're doing it. That stuff like that got to put a contrast in you where you'd be like, oh man, we got it made, we got it lucky, right? We're doing this in an age of internet and computers, and my sponsor, my upline, Andrew Coltman, did it in the 80s. So, he was probably faxing in orders and, drinking all this crazy aloe and all this. And the shakes were nasty back in the day, right? They weren't like, they was probably all like wild berry, right? Like, it was just like, I heard the shakes was like barely okay, right? It was barely, you had to throw some, like, you had to finesse it, right? Yeah, I'm drinking a shake, man. This is all orange juice. We got it made. We got it made. I probably didn't finish like the whole general conversation, but like, I'm just like, there has to be a high gratitude joint, and I think that happens when you listen to Mark Hughes. It gets you in a different perspective of like what you have, what you need to do, what you can do. You know what I mean? What's possible when you listen to Mark Hughes. He'll put you in a different mode, right? And that's the thing about when we listen to personal development, you guys, is when you're listening to personal development, they're not talking Herbalife language. Sure, it applies to life. Sure, it applies to mentality. But I ain't heard nobody say nothing that's just like so much deeper than what Mark Hughes is talking about. I listen to a whole lot of stuff, right? I mean, there's some stuff where it's like a lot more technical. They might be going into some specifics, but then are you just listening to them talking about business and you're like, yeah, but I still got to listen to like Herbalife stuff. That's why Jim Rohn is great. We can listen to a lot of Jim Rohn, you know what I mean? Because 20 years he gave us stuff for Herbalife. And when you can do that, I promise all the other personal development, all the other videos, all the other books I've listened to me, it still doesn't compare. Right? Like, listen to personal development, and it's like, well, I'd rather listen to like a Ray Lewis video if I'm playing football, or you're gonna listen to John C. Maxwell like right before the game. Or you gonna Eric Thomas type vibe before a game, or are you gonna be listening to Bob Proctor? Like, he says good stuff, but it ain't got you so you can get out and get to what you actually need to be able to do, like your life depended on it. Does that make sense? Right? It's not a knock on, like, and I love all of these people. I love Tony Robbins. I love Les Brown. I love all of them. Right? Great stuff. Great material. Of course, a lot of them. Jim Rohn, they godfather. Right? So, but when you listen to Jim Rohn and Mark Hughes, you guys, it keeps you in the Herbalife joint. It gets you back into that mode. Like I said, Mind of a Mental Giant is 5 hours and 24 minutes of Mark Hughes going in. The founder of the company, 23 years old. And you got to like embrace the story. Imagine being 23 and deciding to take on this endeavor that you felt really passionate about and actually building that company. Right? I'm not going to say that none of you guys would be able to do that. What I'm saying is you don't have to. He designed it for you to build yourself into the income that you would want without having to do all the stuff that he did, that he went through and did everything. He's just saying, do the easy part, which is distribute. Just do the distribution. Just bring a lot more people in and show them what's available to them. That's it. Right? What's easier, designing shoes or like selling some shoes? The shoes is dope, man. You can sell all that stuff. You ain't gotta design the products. You ain't gotta do the research and development. You don't gotta keep in contact with, you ain't gotta pay nobody. You don't gotta do no accounting. You don't gotta be, in contact with the supply chain. You got aloe in Mexico, tea from China, soybeans in the US. They do all that for you. You gotta hire all these doctors. You ain't gotta do none of that. And you can earn money like a surgeon, a plastic surgeon, a CEO. You know, you can do a business that does $3-4 million a year in terms of your business, right? If you did a business work that did $3 or $4 million a year, how much do you think that you'll be earning in that same year? Go find out. Except you don't have to think of a business plan. Got it. And you can just do the business plan in as many different methods as possible, right? Daily, right? Healthy, active lifestyle to distribute. Nutrition clubs to distribute. 21-day challenges to get people on products and you distribute the products to them, right? Advertising face-to-face so that you can distribute and find distributors. Social media to advertise, attract, and recruit distributors who can then also distribute. Right? How else can you do that with the intention is simple. Get people on products, get distributors, and show them how to get people on products and also get distributors. That's all we do. Now, how you do that is all on you. What makes the most sense? Do it all. Do one intensely. It doesn't matter. Like, that's literally what we have. So a lot of people are making it way more difficult and complicated than what it is. This is my and of course, everything I say is meant to be used, right? Put it on. You can wear it, take it. You can not take it. You can come to the buffet and listen. You can not take it. Maybe it doesn't make sense. It's always up to you guys for every training that you go to say yay or nay, whether you want to absorb it, implement it, or not implement it. But this is a mindset that will benefit you when you can make what we do simple. And then you can answer your own questions by keeping the simplicity of what you're supposed to be doing in your front of your head. Does it give me clients? Cool. Does it give me distributors? Cool. Can my distributors get clients and get distributors from doing this? Or for me being an expert at being able to teach this? Cool. All right, cool. Let me take care of the integrity part. Is it good for me, Herbalife, the people I want to get involved, and does it feel good in the marketplace? Cool. If I got all that covered, then all I'm gonna do is run and do as much as I can and get as many people involved to handle these things that are the intentions. That's it. That's it. And I'm gonna do it because it seems kind of easy. If you may, it seems kind of easy. And what's at the end of it? 50%. That's fire. Shout out to all the brand new supervisors and the ones on the way. What's at the end of it? High royalties and production bonuses, pins, vacations. We going to Cancun, Tulum, Acumel. Man, we are about to be in Mexico, right? I'm about to brush back up on my Espanol. We about to be in the Bahamas. Look, if you're not on this joint, you got a week right now, and you got 5 more months. 5 months to go for it. I promise you, you are not that far away from the Bahamas. If you focus on what it takes more people. You got to hit global expansion team. That's one thing. So bring in the people to be made up and be the bulk of what should be the team. You got to bring in people to be the team. Everybody wants to have these teams that they want to go for. I want to be mill team. I want to be get team. Well, bring in the team. Right? Or you going out onto the floor by yourself like, oh, we about to win the game and get this 1,000 royalty points, and it's just you by yourself. And you don't give you royalty. I'm about to be mill team this year. Trying to give yourself royalty. If I could figure out how to give myself royalty, I'd have been with the skirt finesse. No, I wouldn't, probably. We've been thinking about it. But since you can't, you got to bring in team. Does that make sense? I didn't see no question marks, but all questions are good questions. You guys can raise your hand in the apps, go to participants, raise your hand. Look, we got a week left, EOM. This is what you got to be going for. All the promotions that your downline can be going for and your preferred members can be going for. Look, beat your baseline. This is the second month to beat your baseline, so you should be at least beating your volume that you did in May by 500 documented volume points. Beat May by 500 this month and next month, right? To finish out, beat the baseline. Especially if you already did it, right? That got to be your goal. And if you had 0 in May, that makes it really simple to beat your baseline. Right? I got mine down already. I'm excited, ready to finish it out next month. Let's go. I did 7,000 in May, so we can beat that twice. All questions are good questions. Y'all ain't got nothing? Y'all gonna make it easy for me? Raise your hands. My bad, y'all. I'm tripping. Escape. Hold on. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. Turn up.